Hi guys, and welcome to the Quillkeepers Foundry, formerly known as the Poets Foundry. As you can see, we've done some rebranding and redesigning and just recalculating what's going on here. And the reason for the name change was quite simple. We are trying to present publishing opportunities to all writers, not just poets. So keeping it as the Poets Foundry, although I loved the name and the original concept and the original dream, it has grown and evolved, and it seemed that Quillkeepers was a little bit more fitting and all-inclusive for all writers. As you guys know, like I said, we present publishing opportunities to all writers over at the Foundry. We also do these podcasts where I come on and I read poetry. I'm probably going to start adding different segments where I read short stories and even maybe like do a Dead Poets type parade where we read and honor some of the greats like, Poe, Whitman, Frost, Sexton. Yeah, so if you would like to be a co-host on the Foundry podcast, please send me a message here at the Foundry or down below at Stephanie Lamb Poetry. I would love to have you on. Um, I know in my previous podcast when I had some co-hosts, it got a little bit glitchy with the programming. I've been kind of learning the techie behind the scenes stuff and doing a lot of research and recalibrating kind of my program and my computer. So I think I've got it pretty seamless, but it still is technology. It still is the internet. There's going to be hiccups and glitches from time to time. Also, over at the Foundry, we will be unveiling very soon prompts and challenges for the writers community to participate in the fun, and then holding either a podcast or a live to read those submissions. We also will be unveiling a live aspect. So I've signed on some really great live readers to the Foundry in the last few weeks, and we're trying to add a few more and a couple of curators for the page. And we will start doing pop-up lives. We won't have a set schedule. It'll just be whenever my readers find the time and they want to come on, they will come on, they'll read the room, they'll do submissions, whatever it is that they want to do. It's going to be completely up to them, but it should be fun and exciting. And like I said, no schedule. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what time or day. Just be looking for, those, turn your notifications on your phone that tell you when we have, done something. Um, if speaking of live readers and curators, if you would like to join the team, please let me know here at the Foundry or again down below at Stephanie Lamb Poetry. With that, we'll get started. All right. Oh, and by the way, if you hear background noise, I do have family here home today and I am recording from a different spot. You guys are used to seeing me in my bathroom. And today I decided to do it in my loft office. Yeah, so we'll try it out. We'll see how it goes and see if I record from here ever again. But like I said, I've got family home. So if you hear stuff in the background, that is definitely what you're hearing. First piece I have for you is by Aratui, and I believe that the title of this is Don't Let Them Steal Your Softness. And like usual, my cat's kind of walking around at my feet, so she will probably hop up here at some point and want some love. Don't Let Them Steal Your Softness by Aratui. This morning, I pulled the curtains aside and watched you lay on my bed. I opened the window to let the sun in, listening to the muffled sounds of you breathing my name. This morning, I woke up and no longer felt like I would end up in limbo, stuck on shallow breaths and aching bones and chests heavy with gray, with hollow eyes and a flood that kept rising in my throat until I could not stop the weight from making my skin crawl, muscles begging for sleep, with days drowning out every last sorry. Because I fell asleep with you, starstruck by my curves, with the moon swaying behind us and me realizing I was undone by you. Lover, born of rain clouds, of summer's stickly sweet sadness, of nectar dripping from God's tongue, your romanticism caught me. You taught me how I should carry this ache, how my worth was not measured by fragile masculinity, by hands too harsh to hold something beautiful. How to make a home out of every sunset, how songs that hum in blood were a lesson in motion. You taught me that if this love were a house, our attic would be filled with silver threads of moonlight, of dreams untouched and stars bottled, so I could make a wish whenever I needed. Before this, before quiet evenings with you, painting constellations on my skin with unsteady hands, fingers afraid to bruise, I thought I was haunted, thought I was of monsters. I pulled bruised poppies from salted lungs from a ribcage of death's fruitful little things and turned towards the silence of a quiet home. The silence that didn't carry the echo of laughter that snuck into my sternum to pacify the clouds, as if the thundering drum-like beat of my heart was something to be ashamed of, as if hearts should be contained, as if I, woman, was too soft, too compliant. Sorry. As if I, a woman, was too soft, too compliant, too light, too kind, too warm to hold any position of importance. That's why I understood emptiness. That's why I knew anger. That's why I found rapture in all your small gestures. That's why I knew that if our love were a house, every soul you met would hear the murmurs of me everywhere, like lost bobby pins strewn about every corner I could find. It would be me tiptoeing upstairs, completely and utterly in love, telling you how we are not done being dumb yet. It would be me, watching the pale morning light through our bedroom window, wondering how you passed the greatest storm of the night, how you swam through the feelings of needing to say so much and yet speaking so little, of how your patience guided us through a hurricane of much said in haste, in few words, in almost sharp and painful ways. A night of me slamming doors and telling you I had enough of your bullshit. A night of me telling you you could never contain a girl who could not contain herself. A night of me opening every window, letting the wind take me, letting the breeze of the world let you know I was free before everything else. A night of me storming downstairs, spilling my soul out of crevices, letting my anger splash into everything I touched, letting it soak into the foundation of us. A night of letting myself get soaked by your tears and realizing in between breaths of shouting, of begging, of telling you off, you were hurting too. And I wondered, could we start over? Or were you afraid? Because your mouthful, heartful of breath, you were nuclear. And when you pried me apart, I broke and opened right up. I erupted. I spilled. I made a mess. I told you how afraid I was of weeds sprouting from the cracks inside my spine instead of flower petals. I told you how I swallowed down every love at 3 a.m. like ibuprofen because I did not deserve to feel this kind of warmth. I told you if any love before this were a house, I'd find myself buried beneath the earth in its garden, and how it would dull my shine, how I kept slipping into the security of people that passed, how the final bellyache came from watching you almost turn away from my internal corrosion. So this morning, I watched the light spill onto your frame. I watched the way I could fall in love with you again each and every day, over and over. Your light sneaking a routine into my chaos, a calm into my anger. Oh goodness. Sorry, I'm waiting for this to catch up. Slide 6 is not showing up. Well, this is horrible. Let me see if I can get it onto my other device. Oh. If you really give me this chance to take back the scarlet mornings I brought into your fractured chest, digging up your heart just to feel it beat, I could fill your home with warmth. If you let this love become a house, our house, I will plant flowers in the cracks of our roof. I will watch the lilies stain it. I will let the ivy thrive. I will pluck the daisies and crown us children of the wild, created of stardust, by stargazers and half-recalled memories. I will let the sun in, unbothered by our existence. And I will let myself turn soft again. Whew. And again, that was Aratui, Don't Let Them Steal Your Softness. And wow, that is, Shay always writes epic, epic pieces. I am just so in love. I'm so in love with her poetry from the moment that I found that account. I think I've actually read her on a podcast here before. But I love her love poetry. It's always whimsical and cosmic, and she just has this way of like tying everything together. Like it's this long epic tale, and then from whatever she started with, like on that one, she started with, because of you, I'm this love is so great and I'm learning more about myself. I'm growing into my own skin. And then she ended it with it too. And I just love the way that she can write. Some of her love pieces are the unrequited love, while others are this, beautiful union coming together, while others is love that has gone wrong, and I really appreciate and love an artist that's able to tap into all the different emotions and levels there are of love, because it is such a vast thing, and we all have these different ways of showing it and different definitions, I guess, of love. So thank you, Artui, for writing such epically beautiful pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna warn you guys that some of these I just read, like, the once while I saw it in the feed, and then I saved it so I could read it in a podcast. So I apologize if I mess up any words or whatever. Okay, this one, I actually have two that I'm going to read by this artist, and it's my first time reading her, so it's pressure's on. I hope I don't mess up. And this is from, and I hope I say the handle right. This is Fdeesia, Fdeesia, and I call her Donna. That's her name that she has on her profile. And this is called When the World Sleeps. And in her caption, she says, "When the world sleeps and my dreams sprint uphill, that's when I bleed blue. This poem is about my new passion for writing." When the world sleeps. I did not ask for you, and yet you're here. A skewed revelation, singing to the deaf and dancing for the blind. You took too long. I have since been analyzed, already been weighed, already been judged. I was doing just fine until you came along. Why have you come to me? Why now? Running riots with strange passion I'm not familiar with. Did you lose your way? Not to die, you simply stayed? Do you believe me when I say I'm not the type to carry you to greater heights? My shoulders may crumble from my own weight. I'm half empty. But what manna do I nourish you? Now that you're here, I feed you crumbs. I feed you crumbs to keep you breathing, in hopes you'd one day keep me from dying and leave your unraveling to the hands of time. But before presenting you on a silver platter, before harvesting the smallest glimmer of shine, will you walk with me through murky waters? Are you willing to battle my demons back to hell? Then, only then, will I run with you to face the sun. For now, only when the world sleeps, I'll spring to life. And again, that's Donna. That's Fdeesia. I love that piece. I love that. It's like, okay, so I too, Donna, had a very, you say like writing is kind of new to you. I've been writing ever since I can remember, but I experienced like a 10-year writer's block from my mid-20s till my mid-30s. And then suddenly my mind came back to life and it was like I couldn't put the pen down. So I absolutely identify when you're questioning, like, why did this gift come to me? Why is this blessing bestowed? And all I can say is keep writing. There's a reason that you have experienced this like type of awakening, and obviously you have a message to deliver, and there are people who need to hear it, and those people will find you. Just keep putting it out there. So beautiful piece. Okay, so my next one is by Brandon White, Music and Poetry. Also just a really amazing soul. And this piece is called Autopilot Promises. Men are clearing the streets of debris from last night's storm, and I'm stuck in traffic, not feeling a thing. This is the grind they warned you about when you're young, the soul crusher. I've given a lot of thought to the small parts of us that die unnoticed in our pursuit of security. Like little suicides, pieces fall away, but the body keeps working. Muscle memory and bad habits and a mind on autopilot makes no promises. So nothing new is broken. Whew. Ooh. And that again was Brandon White, Music and Poetry. And I really love that piece because I mean, just even the metaphors and I'm in my car, I'm on autopilot. Like, how often do we just like drive to our next destination and then go, whoa, how did I get here? You know, and then applying that to actual life. It's just like really, I love the way that you tied it all together. It's just, yeah, it was really a great piece. Thank you, Brandon, for that one. My next piece is from chasing underscore Kairos. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. If I ever mess up your handle, just voice clip me down there at Stephanie Lamb Poetry or even at Quillkeepers, so that I can um, put in the right name. All right, so you guys hear my little ones there in the background. I'll wait until this passes and then I'll be able to continue on. Yeah, they just got home. They were out with their grandma. I honestly thought that they would be gone longer. But yeah, so the older ones will help and take care of the little ones. Anyway. Okay, so the next one I have, this is the second one that I have from Donna, and this is F. Again is her handle. Says here's a poem for one of your prompts. Write a celestial poem. Hope you like it. And this is called Mimicking Stars. A multiple of you in the sky, the vast heavens you defy. What do you do when you're up there? Lively banter and laughter share. So many things I want to know. Do you desire for simply glow? Does empathy move freely there, a dying star to mourn and care? Or envy the one that shines the brightest, swaying your gowns, see who's the finest? Are you engaged in a race for fame? What makes you burn your inner flame? Does cloudy nights steal your peace, or rest and breathe in sigh of relief? Did shooting stars fall from that height, or were they drawn to our kitchen lights? On nights when there's so less of you, are you singing praises in the pew? I love that. That's a beautiful piece. I often wonder what the cosmos are doing too. This next one is from the handle is The Blemished, and it is called At Peace. I don't think I've read him before. I've followed him for quite some time, love his content, but I don't think I've ever followed him before or read him before, so this should be interesting, and I hope I don't mess it up. I want to kiss you slow, undo the buttons of your scars, get in real deep, see the light of your burning stars. I want to take your hands, soften your dying palms, touch you in a tender place while within my arms. I want to see you smile, blind me with your gracious light, beaming through those eyes. Were wrongs a written right? I want to hold my breath, breathe it into you. You won't be dying on me when you're turning blue. I want to hear you laugh, drown out the sorrowed tune, mask the timeless pain, not knowing when is soon. I want to do this now, while I still breathe a breath, saving the last one for you. I'll be at peace at death. Whew, that was The Blemished. All one word, no underscores, no dots, just The Blemished. And that was a really amazing piece. to be so in love with somebody like that they're the ones that, complete you. I love that concept. This next one is from Jasmine.s.Higgins, and this is called Foe. And it was a prompt that she put out, hashtag prompts by Jasmine, day 23. I believe it's called Freckles. Yeah. Um, okay. All right, Foe. How come your freckles taste like sugar, eyes glitter like you stole the sea, consuming it whole with that sunshine beating chest? How come your words keep on singing for days and days when you've walked away and forgotten? But still, I'm searching for any trace of you left for me to swallow. How come your freckles dissolve like sugar? Your eyes glitter in artificial light. Chest is warm like the rest of us. And your words only linger when they're mean. How come I love you anyway? When your beauty is false, your heart is plain. And the only real part is that you always, always leave. And that is called Foe by Jasmine.s.Higgins. I really enjoy her account. She's got a really great account. In this caption, she talks about, mental health, and it really does show in her writing. Mm. So this next one is by one of my favorite female poets. Um, her writing is very eclectic and very deep, and like a lot of times I have to read it over and over to really absorb it and get what she is saying. And sometimes her poetry is just so deep and so well written that it just like whoo goes right over my head, but it's still beautiful and I can appreciate it. Just an all around beautiful soul and beautiful writer. This is L.T. Peel, Pelle. This one is, I believe, Midnight. She does these cool little, like in the comments, she says, write a 7-word, write a 5-word, write an 11-word poem on said topic. And then she'll, if you do it in the comments, she'll post it up on her story and feature you there. It's really kind of cool. I think I've participated in it a couple of times. So I think this one is probably called Midnight. On the phone, your breath becomes blue static. It's 3 a.m. I am silent as the harvest moon, which is to say, I am listening with just enough light to catch a glimpse of your hand's eye. These sheets are ships, an ocean carrying myself to you and somehow also emphasizing our distance. But I do not cry when you are the first to fall asleep. My want is an alley, the raving opposite of white noise, a crave for rats to feast on loose leftovers in. I will take anything, especially what has fallen like stars from your lips. When the window says it can see right through me, I tell it to shut the fuck up. Just because both of us are breakable doesn't mean we have to listen to one another speak, and my chest has no bars left for curtains. This is why you chose me. Because, like light, there was no way for me not to let you in. This is why you chose me. My phone is cordless and same size as my heart, which means I do not recognize the scissors in your voice for a long time as anything threatening. And that was Midnight by L.T. Peel, and that's Peel, Pelle. I love that piece. I love it. I love it. I love it. So often we, especially empaths or people who just have empathetic characteristics or personalities, we make easy targets for people to come and try to steal our light, or just kind of take advantage, or just really hurt us. And sometimes we don't even notice it until it's like too late. I know I have had this experience numerous times. Matter of fact, just recently, really opened myself up to somebody, and then in the end was burned quite badly. Um, anyway, so next one I have is from Emma Blass Poetry, and that's Emma, EMMABLAS Poetry. And I believe, okay, so this one is titled It's 2040 and I'm Not Sorry. I cannot tell you the time, for I am no longer waiting for it to be the right anything, anywhere, anytime, or anyone. I am here wrapped in the knowing comfort of everything being unknown, uncertain, unplannable, uncontrollable. My hair is long and I don't give a damn gray. Every line on my face and body makes me smile with all that we have lived together. Around the table, we clasp hands and smile with all that we have lived together. And I have forgotten how it feels to want to start sentences with, I'm sorry. Whew. And that was It's 2040 and I'm Not Sorry by Emma Blaze Poetry, or Emma Blaze Poetry. If I'm saying that wrong, shoot a voice clip down below and I will correct it for the next read. Wow, that is a really an amazing piece. And I'm not sure even if I'm following you on my Lamb account, so I'm definitely going to check that out, and then I will send your user to my account so that I can follow. Okay, so this next one is also a prompt piece, several prompts. Unlace by Poetry Unbound 2020, Blankets of by Wolf Moon Rising 20, Before Sunrise by 90s Movie Prompts Jan 20, Lazy Days by 20s XX, and January's Prompts Ringing in My Ears by Stephen Terrell, and Light Bouncing Off by Nixie Blue Prompts, or NYX Blue Prompts. This is Kate Quinn Poetry, and I don't know that it's titled. Unlace these blankets of frost and hard-shelled snowbanks. These cracked sheets of ice before my eyes freeze over for good. I want to be all rippling lagoon warmed by July's tangerine and honey rays. I want to be light bouncing off summer seas. Sunset sky in flames. I want to be peach stained and strawberry smeared across your wanting lips. Give me lazy Sundays under August sepia suns, toes dripping into cold creeks, cicadas' song ringing in the ears. Give me your warm breath, your body's heat, salt steaming off skin before sunrise. Let's melt off February before it even begins, and set the horizon on fire. Oof, that's Kate Quinn Poetry. I love that piece. It's very it's just beautiful, and that whole like knowing that you're getting to the end of winter and starting to go into spring. I know right now we're actually in fall, so that was it was an old piece. Matter of fact, she put out January 12th. That's how long I've been saving that piece to read it. I am so backlogged. I wish that I could just record, like, I'd probably have to record like 9 or 10 hours to get all of the pieces that I have saved in, but I'm doing my best. Really, my goal with the podcast was to do them weekly or at the worst, like bi-weekly, but quite honestly, it's turned into maybe like a once a month thing. I'm lucky if I get 2 of them in, and I'm thrilled if I get 3 of them in. Just things are so busy. Yeah, anyway. All right, so this next one is Quixotic Corinthia. I always think I'm messing up that name, so again, if I am, put it down there and below. Um I don't know that, is it titled? I believe the title of this one is I Don't Have the Strength to Forget. The waves crashing against the rocks as an apology. Half-formed, broken words tumbling from the opening of a bottomless pit. I always say the wrong things. Harsh, angry acceptance and the taste of it's not enough on a bitter tongue. I don't have the strength to forgive. Too much pride for forgiveness. And I can't decide if I deserve either of the two. Anyway. Hands gripping hands as I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry on loop in the background, on loop in my stomach, the music behind every motion. Too much space ruled by too much noise, and I'm just too full of words for this terribly bright, hollow world. Everything is the same as the outline behind my dreams, the colors smeared across the backs of my eyes when I close them tight enough, the furious worry of my heart in my chest. Nothing will ever feel like enough. If I cannot swallow a dictionary a day, if I cannot hear the lyrics in my head as your laughter fills the room, and the room is really just my rib cage. We're so gloriously alive in this second alone, and it's already over. And I've never stopped mourning yesterday, and I'm sorry. I don't even know why. I'm so sorry. Apologies lost in the echoes of my cowardness and the fire of my anger. Corinthia. Whew, I love that piece. I don't know how many times are we just so like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I loved that repetitiveness. And the not just the word I'm sorry, but the emotion, the feeling of I'm sorry behind it. When you feel it in your mind and in your heart and in your stomach of just like regret, just absolute regret. Okay, so this one is by Kashawn.Writes, and it's a handwritten piece. So if I mess up on any of the words, I'm really sorry, but it's like in their writing, their penmanship. So I'm gonna try. I watched you for months, your trembling hands making your own cigarettes. Anything to save some money, you'd say, as I watched your slender fingers struggle. For a painter, your hands sure move like an earthquake, sending the tiny tobacco town into a frenzied, suicidal display, dying by leaping off the table, and in some cases, by the sheer force of your uncontrollable tremor, caffeine jitters. You paint pretty, a little dark, maybe mysterious, but pretty nonetheless. I liked your art way before I thought to like you, too. Your work adorns all four walls of my room to this day. I am always reminded of you and how you cry your original paintings are in such bad hands. But I watched you for months. Your trembling hands making your own cigarettes. Whew. Oh, that's a gorgeous piece. I really love it. And I love you know, I loved your art before I ever thought to love you too. Gosh, that just made my head go because there's so many times where I mean, I always check out when I check out a person's page, I always look at their art first. That's always the first thing, of course. But then I like try to get a feel for their personalities and try to look a little deeper into their page. And it's amazing because sometimes you find like these really beautiful souls, and then other times you this really great art, and then it's like they're not such a great person. So it's kind of funny that it works that way. But yeah, I mean, I always try to judge the art first and then the person, but it is what it is. Um, I can't believe I've gone like 40 minutes without drinking anything. So here I am catching up. And I do apologize if it is catching all the background noise. I apologize for that. I mean, this real life, I have kids, I have little ones. Um, So, stuff happens. But I did wear a mic, and hopefully it's just catching my voice and very little of the background noise. But I've got my youngest daughter, who is 4, is got a squeaky ball. Yay! That's what Grandma bought her, was a squeaky ball for the dog. So that's probably what you hear in the background. And I think it hit the piano a few times, so you probably heard the keys. So yeah, I apologize. That's just life, I guess. So that was all that I had picked out for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read one more. I'm going to search for one of my absolute favorite poets. All right, so this one is called The Altar of Your Breasts, and this is John Paul poetry. You spoke in hushed tones, though you kept no secrets, and your breath was silk, and your words paper cuts, staking their claim on lips that didn't give a fuck. And you wore beauty like a headache, like art for art's sake, like judgment for someone else's mistakes. And I couldn't clear your head of all its traffic, and you couldn't clear a place for me in all your panic. And you dared me to wake in fragments, severed, in the missing pieces of our forever. And you dared me to gather them to hold us together. And I tried. But I soon realized I would no longer recognize myself in your eyes. I don't know the truth or whether I did my best, kneeling naked and weary at the altar of your breasts. I held tight a few pieces and threw away the rest. I'm just so fucking tired of you and your endless tests. That was The Altar of Your Breasts by John Paul Poetry. He says that this is a repost. I think he cleaned it up and then he, put it back up there. But wow, just an amazing piece. Yeah. Again, John Paul Poetry, all one word, no underscores, no dots. You can find him on Instagram. Matter of fact, all the poets that I read today, you can find on Instagram. I didn't mix it up with like Instagram, Facebook, or wherever. I just stuck to the Instagram poets today. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. And again, this is the Quillkeepers Foundry, formerly known as the Poets Foundry. I am your host, Stephanie Lamb Poetry. If you would like to co-host one of these podcasts with me, please hit me up in DM either at Quillkeepers or at Stephanie Lamb, and yeah, we'll schedule something that we can get together and do it. So be looking towards the Foundry page for some upcoming changes, and we're adding a bunch of people. We've already added a few. Right now, I believe we have myself and Natty and Cynthia, and then we have PBJ, and we have Brandon, and we have Mike, and looks like we have a few more that may be joining us here pretty soon. So yeah, guys, check out the page, check out our curators, check out the publishing opportunities that we have available for you writers, and and check out our sister page that I just launched, which is Quillkeepers Press. And right now it's just me running that whole show. Lots of publishing guidance and consulting that we've got going there. And I offer some of my services on that page. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and yeah, till next time. Hopefully it won't be another month in between podcasts. I am so sorry. It's just been very, very busy, very hectic in my life. So y'all have a great day, and yeah, we'll talk soon.